Lee is now a hurricane in a lot of the Florida Peninsula. Going to stay on the drier side for the rest of the week. What's going on, guys? Meteorologist Jonathan Kagas with you. And again, that drier pattern is going to continue. We're going to break down the forecast for North Florida, Central Florida, and South Florida as well towards the middle of this video. And then at the end, if you're looking for an update on Lee, we're going to have a big tropical update here. Lee is officially a hurricane as of the 5 o'clock advisory on September 6th. It's going to explode over the next couple of days. But that's okay as long as if it doesn't hit land, and in the short term, it does not look like it's going to do that. We're going to show you the latest track, models, latest storm, updates on all that stuff, and if Florida is in play down the road. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'll show you why towards the end of this video that it does not come here. Here is a look at the future radar for the evening, and again, most of it is dry. Post in the comments if your lawn is a little crunchy from this dry stretch we've gotten ourselves into. It's certainly been comfortable for Florida standards anyway, the humidity taking a break a little bit. Once we get to Thursday morning, we're mainly dry. Rain chances maybe go up a little bit in Central Florida, and then we finally, by the time we get to Friday, that's when we start to see our more routine storm chances come back. This is not the start of the dry season just yet, although North Florida and Central Florida certainly got a taste of it the last couple of days through the Labor Day holiday as well. High temperatures tomorrow in Central Florida in the low to mid 90s. I'll also put in the time codes down below in the description in case you want to jump ahead to the tropics if that is your interest of this video. Again, there's a lot going on here and I want to break it down for everybody, so time codes in the description. You can click ahead if you would like to, although I hope you watch the whole thing. Stick with us and hang out with us. All right, wider view shows. Again, most of Florida is dry Wednesday evening on the 6th. Into the start of Thursday, there is 6 o'clock on your Thursday morning. Just a few passing clouds. Again, no tropical threats in the immediate time frame here from the Gulf or the Atlantic. We're looking good. Nice evening on Thursday. There you go. Just a few scattered thunderstorms closer to the Panhandle and into the Big Bend. Maybe a few sea breeze storms in Southwest Florida. Otherwise, most of us are going to be dry for the rest of Wednesday. And then into Thursday, those higher storm chances start to build back in for the state as we get into Friday and then through part of the weekend. Rain chances a little higher for us in the Panhandle tomorrow. You saw that little flare up of storms. Otherwise, though, towards Cedar Key. Hope you guys are doing okay after the hurricane, after we had all that storm surge flooding. Gainesville, we have a 10% shot for a passing downpour. We're mainly dry, though. Jacksonville, it's a hot one, just a stray shower. St. Augustine, we should be dry with air temperatures back into the lower 90s. Now, once we move down into Central Florida, again, we are on the drier side. It's a hot one, 96 in Orlando, 94 in Ocala, Daytona Beach, we're at 93, Tampa 93, St. Pete Beach, we're checking in into the upper 80s, Vero Beach, just a stray shower. Otherwise, we're dry and we are hot. Slightly higher rain chances, again, Southwest Florida, you saw that little flare up in future radar. It's only 20%. Most of us, though, continue to be dry late. Okeechobee, we're at 20% shot for a storm tomorrow. Most of the day sunny and hot with temperatures around 94. Miami, we are chilling around 90 degrees. All right, as promised, here is Hurricane Lee. We're going to break down the satellite look as of 5 o'clock. This is from the advisory from the Hurricane Center now. Pressure down 3 millibars from where it was before. You see it. You see the reds and purples starting to fill in. It's getting that compact disc look a little bit. A couple of things I want to point out to you on the satellite thing from a meteorological standpoint. It has the, we call it the jumbo shrimp look. It kind of looks like a jumbo shrimp. Right in there. Give me a thumbs up if you see the jumbo shrimp. This typically is what you see right before rapid intensification starts. The next thing we'll look for is kind of like what we call dueling cumulonimbus clouds. We'll get a nice big bright purple right there, right around the core. That will be the core firing off some intense thunderstorms. This thing is going to go bonkers. This has the potential to reach Cat 5 status and a strong Category 5 hurricane at that. I'll show you the latest forecast from the Hurricane Center, which is typically conservative, although they came out with one of their most aggressive and maybe even the most aggressive forecast in their history. It started as a tropical depression, and then they had forecast a Category 4, again, 5 days in advance. So again, that's not conservative, but nonetheless, regardless of what the actual category comes out, we are going to watch this thing rapidly intensify, really once we get into Friday, and then through the weekend, it'll leave some of its wind shear behind. It's going through a little bit right now in terms of the wind shear, but look at this. From Friday morning, 2 o'clock, 110 mile per hour storm, and then by Saturday at 2 o'clock in the morning, 24 hours later, we're talking about a Category 4 hurricane. And again, there is the potential, really, once we get into this realm here, of this thing just exploding, becoming a maybe Category 5. I've seen some hurricane models with the surface pressure, the mean sea level pressure, get it below 900 millibars. If you're a weather nerd, like a lot of us that tune into this channel, once you start to get in that 920 or below, that's when you're in the Cat 5 realm. Certainly sub 900 is a very, very strong hurricane. Like you're in the Hurricane Gilbert range, and Wilma's not as strong as Wilma, but Wilma's, I believe, 880 something. That was the strongest Atlantic hurricane on record, the most intense from a pressure standpoint. Anyway, as I get on a little squirrel tangent here, computer models, again, continue to be in very good agreement. Over the next few days, we are expecting this to stay north of the Caribbean. We have an area of high pressure kind of guiding this to the northwest, so we are confident that it's going to continue to take this path. Most of these are tightly in. UK Met is the outlier there on the southern side. The main question is, where does this thing turn? Right now, it does look to make a turn well before Florida. It may end up being a little further west, but I'm cautiously optimistic that we do see that turn before Florida. There is that area of high pressure that is guiding Lee right now to the west, and you see that little ball pop up. A couple of things we're going to be watching is, this is the little appendage of high pressure kind of highlighted there in white. That orange is the main kind of footprint of that high pressure. Here, of course, is Lee. Let me get my yellow one out. There is Lee. That big kind of area that's kind of bitten out, that circular area, that's a big chunk of high pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere right above Lee. So a couple of things that could happen here that would be concerning, especially from a mid-Atlantic and northeast standpoint, would be that, like we saw in Franklin, strengthening the high for Idalia to be steered towards the Big Bend of Florida. Lee could be strengthening this area of high pressure, and if it's stronger, it would want to build back towards the United States, maybe not giving it a window out. So we are watching for some potential shenanigans that won't happen in the models because it's such a small level scale. We would need to get the hurricane hunters in here, and by that point, we are going to have the hurricane hunters in there, so we'll be able to see if there's anything happening like that. We'll know that well in advance, but again, you see, even with that happening, at least beginning to be modeled a little bit better already, it does turn before Florida. That is because we're going to have this dip in the jet stream build over the deep south and over the North Gulf of Mexico. Hurricanes tend to feel that trough, as we call it, that elongated area of low pressure, and then it kind of tugs it to the north and then rides around that area of high pressure. But you see what I mean? This may not be coming to Florida, but if that area of high pressure builds stronger and further to the west, then places like the Carolinas up to the Canadian Maritimes will certainly still need to watch this closely. But again, I am cautiously optimistic. You never want to let your guard down on here, but with that trough there, with that dip in the jet stream, that is going to help Florida out significantly. We just need to make sure that it is modeled correctly and that it is going to be there in that position to kind of sweep this up and lift it to the north away from Florida. So keep on checking back. But again, cautious optimism. We've got a lot of good guidance, and we're going to get a lot better data into our models starting on Thursday as the first Hurricane Hunter missions into Lee begin. Alrighty, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to stay updated on all things Florida weather, and of course, as we roll through the tropics, peak of hurricane season is upon us. Hit that subscribe button. I hope everybody's doing well in the recovery from Idalia. We're thinking about you guys, and we will talk to you soon. Keep it easy.